mum who adopted a dying stranger's baby says the tot saved her life and helped her beat the same k.iller disease. A mum has revealed how adopting a stranger's daughter went on to save her life. 16 years ago, Heather Salazar, 43, from Ohio, USA, adopted a baby who changed the course of her family's lives forever. At 18, Heather met a boy named Steve and the pair quickly fell in love. The loved-up duo married the next year before having 3 children, Christian, 22, Caleb, 19, and Kara, 17. Heather said, "I knew I still wanted to do something useful and contribute to society, so, when Kara was old enough, I went back to college to study social work." In April 2002, Heather was at her mom's house when their old neighbor, a midwife, stopped her to say hello. The neighbor told Heather about a woman she'd met through work who was in trouble, a single mom with breast cancer and a tiny baby. The mom, Alexis, was only 23 and looking for someone to care for her baby daughter Lexi while she went through treatment. Heather said her initial thought was, "I can't give this baby the time she needs. I have 3 kids and am studying." But she just couldn't shake the thought of Lexi out of her head. Talking it through, with Steve, now 44, the couple decided to meet Alexis and her baby girl, who was just 10 months old at the time, just a few days later at a shopping center. She added, "As soon as we saw them, we knew we had to help." Alexis was so thin and exhausted, it was clear she couldn't cope on her own. "We explained it all in simple terms to the other kids and they were so excited. I arranged to take a term off college and Lexi moved in with us to our home, before we were given formal custody of her in June." Over the next year, the family helped Alexis as much as possible, taking her to hospital appointments and bringing Lexi over to see her whenever she was well enough. They even had her spend Christmas Day with them. Heather added, Alexis was determined that she was going to live and be able to look after Lexi again herself. But, as time wore on, Alexis became weaker and weaker until, in June 2003, she lost her battle and passed away, aged just 24. In February 2005, the family adopted Lexi legally and she took their surname. That same month, Heather and Steve decided to go away for their wedding anniversary. The day of their trip, Heather decided to check her breasts for lumps as she took a shower. After what had happened to Alexis, she knew how vital it was to do a self-exam, even at 30. It was then that things took a turn for the worse. She said, "As I ran my hand over my breast, I felt a lump and my heart sank. All over the weekend away, I couldn't get the fear out of my mind that I was going to die like Alexis. Back at home, I got an ultrasound and a biopsy done that same week and after 4 days, I got the news I dreaded, I had breast cancer." On March 26, Heather had an operation to remove both of her breasts after deciding that she didn't want to take any chances. She added, "A reconstruction seemed like a small price to pay for a healthy life. Afterwards, I had 4 rounds of chemotherapy and then took Herceptin. Although I was exhausted and I lost my hair, the chemo didn't affect me too badly in terms of sickness. What hurt more was how upset the kids were and how terrified I was." With Steve's support and help from her mom, the family got through the first year until Heather was only required to have checkups every 3 months and then every 6 months. She said, "Every time I had a clear scan, I sent up a little prayer and thank you to Alexis. I knew if I hadn't had her and Lexi in my life, there was no way I would have been so conscientious about checking my breasts." Over the years, we've made sure to keep talking about Alexis so that Lexi felt she could ask any questions she needed to about her birth mom. In 2007, Heather went to a conference for young survivors of breast cancer and met a woman called Tracy who was running a charity called Pink Ribbon Girls. Heather said, "I thought back to Alexis and remembered her telling us she'd come back alone on a bus from chemo before she met us." Breast cancer is the name given to any cancers that have first developed in the breast tissue. There are many different types. Nearly 1,000 people die from breast cancer every month in the UK, with the disease killing around 11,500 women and 80 men each year. However, thanks to advances in medical research and early prevention, more people are surviving breast cancer than ever before. While it is more common in older women, it does affect the younger generation too, with around 20% of cases occurring in females under 50. Celebrities who have battled with breast cancer include Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Anastasia, Sheryl Crow, Kylie Minogue, Olivia Newton-John, and Cynthia Nixon. The disease also affects men, with around 350 diagnosed in the UK annually. I didn't want anyone else to do the same, so I got more involved in Pink Ribbon Girls, and in 2011, I became the president and CEO. This March has marked my 13 years all clear of cancer, and in August, Lexi turned 16. Heather added, "I think about Alexis every day, and she is at the forefront of all I do with the charity. She saved my life and left us a wonderful legacy, a beautiful girl and a mission to help other young women with breast cancer." The husband of a teacher who was diagnosed with breast cancer while in a coma has said she is waiting to die. For more information on breast cancer and how to check for it, click here. Find out more about Pink Ribbon Girls at www.pinkribbongirls.org.